The Reasons We Smile with Dr. Kvitko, the show that brings you man-on-the-street interviews, celebrity guests, groundbreaking research, and heartwarming stories about the reasons we smile. Our show is also known as everything you've always wanted to know about dentistry, but were too numb to ask. Hello, I'm General Dentist Dr. Kvitko, and thank you for joining me today.
The following views and opinions do not necessarily reflect those of this station, its staff, management, or parent company. To hear a replay of this show or one of the great shows that previously aired, log on to thereasonswesmile.com or iTunes, keyword Dr. Kvitko or The Reasons We Smile. Listeners should not use Dr. Kvitko's comments and advice in place of an actual dental exam.
Brighten your life with a smile that shows the professional touch of Dr. Kvitko.
Time now for The Reasons We Smile with Dr. Kvitko. Call 459-9769 to discuss your dental issues. Now, here's your host, Dr. Kvitko.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to The Reasons We Smile. I'm Dr. Kvitko. This is episode number 625. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. Today's show is, well, let's put it this way. Was your New Year's resolution to take better care of your teeth and gums and smile? Because if it is, or was, you've come to the right place. Also, 2 weeks ago, we did a show that was called If All You Want for Christmas Is Your Two Front Teeth and Maybe the Other 30 Teeth as well. You could consider this part 2 of that show. Before we get started, I'd like to remind you, if you'd like to follow me on Twitter, it's at Dr. Kvitko. And if you'd please go to my office Facebook page and like us, that would be awesome. It's Dr. Kvitko and Associates. Also, all past episodes, complete with video, are available at thereasonswesmile.com, and we're streaming live on Facebook. In about 10 minutes, you're going to have a chance to win free flowers from DeSantis Florist. We do a thing called Dr. Kvitko's Question of the Day, and if you just listen a little bit, and sometimes even if you don't, you're going to have a chance to win those flowers because I try to make it easy. I know it's early. So, because brain may not be working quite right yet. Okay, so let me just give you a little bit of a recap of what we talked about a couple weeks ago when it was the All You Want for Christmas Are Your Two Front Teeth version. So the first thing we talked about was, first and foremost, you have to thoroughly brush your teeth 3 to 5 times a day. And we talked about how you brush. We won't go into that again. You can always listen to the rewatch that podcast at thereasonswesmile.com. The second one was be sure to floss your teeth and making sure that you're actually flossing correctly. And again, we talked about what is correct and what isn't correct. And then we talked about avoid eating foods that can stick to your teeth. Soft foods like white bread and raisins get stuck in the little nooks and crannies and they just sit there. And they usually have sugars in them, which then the bacteria use to create acids which eat at your teeth. And that's what a cavity is, by the way, is acid erosion. So, we also mentioned avoid eating foods that stick in your gums, like the hulls of popcorn or shells of peanuts, or other nuts, okay? We talked about avoiding foods that aren't so hot that they burn your tongue, your palate, and your gums, like pizza, soup, and other foods that are too hot. We talked about that it's important to eat a balanced diet, minimize stress, and get the proper amount of sleep. You might wonder, what the heck does the proper amount of sleep have to do with dental health? But probably should go into this one again. I'll mention it. It's called ANUG, acute necrotizing ulcerative gingivitis. If you haven't been sleeping enough, if you're under stress, and you're not getting enough sleep, and you're not eating right, you can get this disease called ANUG that eats at the gums. Literally, it's like an ulceration. It just eats them away, and it never grows back. All right. We also mentioned drinking fluoridated water and making sure that you're not accidentally taking the fluoride out of your water by filtering it. A lot of people use those Brita filters and other ways of getting water that is different than your tap water, and tap water has fluoride and those others don't. So remember that and make sure you do. Drink the tap water, the fluoridated water. You can fluoridate your own water. You can buy called bottled water for kids that already has fluoride in it. But especially children need to be having fluids that have the fluoride in them. Okay. We talked about making sure you get the in-office fluoride treatments. We talked about making sure that you don't bite your nails. Teeth weren't meant to be biting nails. Teeth weren't meant to be opening packages with your teeth. Don't open bobby pins with your teeth. And a fun one for me is don't try to bite into and open up the mostly unpopped kernels of popcorn when you're having popcorn. The obvious one would be not to chew ice cubes. And there were just a couple more from last time. It was don't say no, or rather say yes when your dentist feels the need to take an X-ray, because an X-ray is a moment in time. Okay, every picture is just a moment in time, right? So if your dentist wants to take an X-ray, you need to let them. Telling them that you have X-rays that are 6 months old or 3 years old is no good. That was a photograph or a snapshot of 3 years ago. Has no bearing on what's happening today. And then we also mentioned avoid eating acidic foods like oranges and lemons and limes. Too much of those, because remember I said decay is acid erosion, and the acids from the bacteria in your mouth cause decay. Well, just plain acid can cause decay. Just plain acid. Just people who like to suck on lemons or eat a lot of oranges or limes or juice. Soda pop is acidic. All kinds of it. Okay? Any of that will eat at your teeth. And we see that in folks that are bulimic, people who throw up, usually on purpose, but also in people who have acid reflux disease, where they are throwing up a little bit of stomach acid a lot. They can't control it. There are drugs that you can be given by your physician, but it's if you are one of those people, you don't realize it, but it's eating away at the enamel and the dentin. Once the enamel is gone of your teeth, and once that enamel is gone, a lot of things happen. You lose the ability to fight off the decay as easily as you would if you had enamel, because dentin doesn't resist it as well. You also can change the vertical dimension, or the actual thickness of the tooth, and now your bite is different because your teeth are like partially melted candles instead of a unlit candle. You know what I mean? And so now it takes a further distance for your bottom teeth to come and touch your top teeth because the enamel's gone. So you've lost 2 or 3 millimeters of what we call vertical dimension. And that means you look older than you are because your chin's kind of over closing. Think about those people who wear dentures but don't have them in. How funny they look when their chin gets too close to their nose, okay? And that is all from being bulimic or ingesting too much acid. That can happen. Shortens the direction that you, the distance that you close. Not the direction, but the distance. Okay, so let's get on to some of the new topics. And remember, because we are going to do Dr. Kvitko's question soon, so let me just remind you. I'm going to go ahead and give you that number again, 614-459-9769. And that's just so that you can pre-program it into your phone, 614-459-9769. And I'm giving you that number because we are actually, and we just did talk about probably what's going to be part of Dr. Kvitko's question of the day. And I'll just reiterate, don't bite your nails, don't open packages with your teeth, don't try to bite open those mostly unpopped kernels of popcorn, and don't chew ice cubes, okay? Those little list of things will be important if you want to win those free flowers from DeSantis. Okay, so now I was talking about being bulimic, and of course oftentimes anorexia and bulimia go together. The reason is somebody who's anorexic has a little bit of a kind of a mental issue with feeling like they're too fat, and so there are two things that happen. They won't eat enough food, but when they do eat, they're so afraid it's going to make them fat that then they go and they purposely throw up. They stick their finger down their throat or other ways of making themselves throw up. And so I had a young lady, came to me several years ago, probably 15 now, very cute young girl, and she had a severe case of anorexia and bulimia, and her teeth had gotten not only like melted candles, but had gotten so decayed because every tooth was being attacked on a regular basis by this acid. So, but she had been in treatment and she was doing well, and so her mom brought her in because what we needed to do was to undo this damage. So several of the teeth wound up needing root canals because the decay was so deep that it actually got into the nerve, and several of them needed these huge fillings, several crowns. It wasn't inexpensive. It was a major undertaking. She also was terrified of dentists, and so we had to sedate her intravenously. But we got her all fixed up, and she has this gorgeous smile. And I would love to say that it was a happy ending, but apparently she wasn't completely healed from her anorexia/bulimia, and she went back to doing what she was doing, and she started to get more cavities around all of our nice, beautiful crowns. So we had to redo some, and at some point it just becomes too much for mom and dad, both financially and just mentally. Just this whole notion of we're trying to keep her healthy, we're trying to keep her smile looking nice, and it was this mental health issue that just needed to be worked through. And I know that you might remember, obviously, it's a radio show, and we're used to listening to music on the radio, and Karen Carpenter was probably the first or the most famous anorexic that we can all remember. What a beautiful voice, right? And yet she died of her anorexia. So it's a very serious disease, and obviously at that point, maybe the smile's not the most important thing. However, it does go hand in hand with self-worth and how a person feels about themselves, meaning how are they going to present to the world? Are they going to smile out loud, or are they going to hide from the rest of the world, right? And so hopefully we can put those two together, and one can help the other. So if you have a beautiful smile, you can maybe be cured of your anorexia a little bit easier and bulimia. But doesn't really matter in the sense that even if you don't care about your smile, you're still going to have these toothaches from the decay. So you still have to deal with your teeth. The only thing that would solve the issue if a person kept doing it would be to have, well, there are two. One would be have all of their teeth out and do make dentures. But this girl was like, I want to say 19. No way would I be wanting to make dentures for a 19-year-old. And then the other one would be placing dental implants, because they don't rot. You can't get a cavity on a dental implant. So they're more expensive, but if somebody who is listening or has a loved one who is anorexic and possibly bulimic as well, contemplate having maybe me place a bunch of dental implants, and then you don't have to worry about the reoccurring decay like we had on this young lady. Okay, so I'm looking at the clock, and I think it's probably time for us to do Dr. Kvitko's question of the day. Remember, you're going to have a chance to win free flowers from DeSantis Florist. But before we do the contest, we'd like you to listen to this.
This station will not be held liable for any contesting during The Reasons We Smile with Dr. Kvitko. Participation in the contest allows Dr. Kvitko to record and broadcast your name and call. One winner per household. Prizes are non-transferable, cannot be substituted, and are subject to taxes and fees. This station cannot be responsible for the inability to enter the contest, whether due to equipment malfunction or telephone difficulties. All decisions of Dr. Kvitko concerning this contest or eligibility are final.
And now it's time for Dr. Kvitko's question of the day.
Okay, so if all you wanted for Christmas were your 2 front teeth and the other 30 as well, or if you've made a New Year's resolution to take better care of your teeth, what are some of the things you should do? A, bite your fingernails. B, open packages with your teeth. C, eat as many of those unpopped kernels of popcorn as you can find. D, chew a lot of ice. Or E, none of the above. All right, the winner's going to receive free flowers from DeSantis Florist. They'll be delivered to your place of business this Tuesday afternoon. The number to call, 614-459-9769. That's 614-459-9769. So go ahead and call now.
You won't believe it though. I wanna hear your mind, and there's nothing else in the world tonight. She said people don't take the time. Hey, people don't take the time.
Hey, what's going on? It's Keith Carlos, winner of America's Next Top Model and star of Chocolate City 2. You can look for my smile courtesy of Dr. Kvitko on the CBS television network, where I play Danny on the hit soap opera The Bold and the Beautiful. Stay tuned to The Reasons We Smile with Dr. Kvitko, the world's most interesting dentist.
Hi, I'm Dr. Kvitko, general dentist and host of The Reasons We Smile radio and roadshow. Did you know that you no longer need to visit several different dental professionals to get more complete dental care? We handle everything from cleanings and orthodontics to restoration, implants, and smile makeovers, all in my office. Get the most advanced technology and procedures available today. It's more complete dentistry.
Visit worldsmostinterestingdentist.com for more info about Dr. Kvitko.
Dr. Kvitko, let's go!
Hi, I'm Johanna, and I've been a dental patient at Dr. Kvitko and Associates for over 10 years. I would really recommend Dr. Kvitko for your family's dental care. They're friendly. They're always there to help me. I feel like family when I walk in the door. It's clean, it's comfortable. Even if I have to bring my kids, they have a great playroom for them. I know when I'm with Dr. Kvitko, they are taking that extra time to make sure that I'm going to be the healthiest I can be. They've been great. I love them.
Call Dr. Kvitko and Associates today, 614-262-9588.
Hi, this is Richard Simmons. Dr. Kvitko's here, and he's going to help you with all of your problems. Are your teeth yellow? He can fix that. Are you missing a tooth? He can put a new one in. How is that?
That's very good. Thank you, Richard. Okay, we're back. We're doing Dr. Kvitko's question of the day. We have Linda on the line. Hi, Linda. How are you?
Good.
Good. Thank you for listening. Do you have the answer to Dr. Kvitko's question of the day?
None of the above.
That's right. That was pretty easy, right?
That was really easy.
But
Very obvious.
But we still do all those things.
Yes.
Linda, what do you do for a living?
I work in the rental department for a large equipment company.
Interesting. You mean like one of the Bobcats and stuff?
You got it.
Oh, awesome.
got it.
Okay, I might be a customer here coming up. I'm gonna have some holes to dig. Anyway. All right. Well, hey, stay on the line. We need to get that. Oh, I'm sorry. That's right. My producer said he's going to call you back. So we're going to call you back later and get the information where to send you those flowers from DeSantis, okay?
All right. Thank you.
You're very welcome. For those of you that didn't get through, I'll try again next week. You'll have another chance to win free flowers from DeSantis Florist. If you're just joining us, I'm Dr. Kvitko. This is episode 625 of The Reasons We Smile with Dr. Kvitko. And today we are bringing you what it could amount to part 2 of If All You Wanted for Christmas Were Your 2 Front Teeth and maybe the other 30 as well. Or if you made a New Year's resolution to take better care of your teeth, gums, and smile, this is the place. This is the show. All right, so the next thing we want to talk about is if your dentist tells you that you have a cavity, believe them and get it filled right away, okay? You don't have to have pain to have a cavity, and in most cases, not most cases, in every case, if all you have is a cavity, you're not going to know it, pain-wise. You might see a little brown spot developing if it's a front tooth, but cavities don't hurt unless the tooth already needs a root canal and or an extraction, okay? Not and or, I'm sorry, or an extraction. Okay, so we get so many people that we'll take an x-ray, we'll take our Explorer, and it'll stick into their tooth, and we'll say, John, you have a cavity. Well, nothing hurts. Well, you still have a cavity. Well, yeah, let me think about it. I'm not convinced. It's like, okay, it's just going to get deeper. And, I mean, this isn't up for discussion. This is absolute truth and research. So don't wait on them, because the less tooth structure that's destroyed by the cavity, the better, okay? So another one, if you want to keep your teeth, is get Pitt and Fisher sealants placed in any deep grooves of your back teeth. Now, this is a lot of the times this involves children, because you all know about rust proofing a car, right? You get a brand new car. One of the options is, do you want the underside rust proofed? Or sometimes you can just go have it rust proofed on your own at a place like I think it's called Z-Bart or one of those. So when's the best time to undercoat or rust proof a car? It's before it rusts, before it's been attacked. So with children especially, as soon as those adult molars come in, and if they have those deep grooves and valleys, we recommend putting Pitt and Fisher sealants in there. It's a kind of a thinned out composite resin filling, and it protects those grooves, and then now the bacteria can't get in there and you can't get decay in those areas, okay? So make sure you get the Pitt and Fisher sealants if they are recommended, and especially for your children, even if they're not recommended, ask your dentist. Hey, would Pitt and Fisher sealants be a good idea? Because in some cases they maybe thought the hygienist had recommended it, and you maybe said no, and they didn't know the hygienist never brought it up, and so on. Okay. If you are participating in sports, wear a dentist-made custom mouthguard, and wear it during sporting activities. Now, it has to be the custom-made kind, because here's the thing. You can go to the drugstore and buy those kind that you boil and bite, and a lot of people do, but what they don't know is at the time of impact, if that thing doesn't fit perfectly without you having to keep your mouth together to keep it in, it pops out. So at the moment you need it most, it popped out. The only ones that stay in are the ones that are custom fabricated by a dentist to be so snug that it takes a couple fingers or a couple hands to get it out of your mouth. Otherwise, you're just wasting your money. I realize it's only $25 or whatever they are, $6, $7. But you know what? A filling, fixing a chipped tooth can be a lifetime of cost, a lifetime of aggravation, irritation. And so it really, really makes a lot of sense to wear a custom-fitted dental mouth guard. Oh, and by the way, when your child turns about 8 and a half, just go ahead and wrap them in bubble wrap and don't remove it till they're about 10, because that is the age that children will do silly things, and they'll trip and fall, they'll play, they'll chase each other, and they'll do all kinds of things. And I bet you many of you sitting in your car listening right now, or at work, or wherever you're listening, can remember, if you chipped a front tooth, think back to when it was, you were probably between 8 and a half and 10. It's amazing. I don't know, this is not something that we learned in dental school. It's just an observation of 39 years of being a dentist. But then I do ask a lot of people as well who have a chip when I first meet them as a new patient, for example, and maybe they have a crown on a front tooth. I'll say, was that because you chipped your tooth when you were a kid? And they'll say, yeah. And I'll say, were you 9? And they'll say, yeah, how'd you know? So get some big bubble wrap and just don't let them out of it. Okay, so I'm looking at the clock, and it looks like, yeah, I think maybe we'll go ahead and we'll do our next commercial break. You're listening to The Reasons We Smile with Dr. Kvitko, and we'll be right back.
You can't take me as I am, not just a little bit. I don't know who to be. I'm a paper cup, baby, of the sea. I know you see it too, 'cause you're too much for me.
This is Clark Kellogg. Stay tuned for more of Dr. Kvitko.
Estás escuchando con Dr. Kvitko aquí en su sesión favorita.
Hi, I'm Dominique Reigert. Like what you hear? Why not use the show to promote your product or service by becoming a sponsor? Call 614-262-9588 to learn how. That's 614-262-9588. Call now.
Hi, I'm Dr. Kvitko, general dentist and host of the Reasons We Smile radio and roadshow. I've been honored to help several famous people get a perfect smile, like Keith Carlos and Dominique Reigart from America's Next Top Model, and Ted the Golden Voice Williams from right here in Columbus. Isn't it time you had a celebrity smile? It costs less than you might think, and most of the time, it can be done in one visit. A new smile can make a world of difference.
Visit worldsmostinterestingdentist.com for more info about Dr. Kvitko.
I'm Grandpa, and I go to Dr. Kvitko, and I still have all my teeth. Real ones. Where's my glasses?
Welcome back to If All You Wanted for Christmas Were Your 2 Front Teeth, and maybe the other 30 as well. I'm Dr. Kvitko, and we're giving you hints to keep your teeth for a lifetime, especially if your New Year's resolution was to do better with going to the dentist, take better care of your teeth, your gums, your smile, and just kind of, change that whole approach, that whole outlook. You don't want to be the one in the room that has bad breath. You don't want to be the one in the room that has these crooked teeth, these rotten teeth, missing teeth. You can elevate your life a little bit by having a great smile, because you can attract, let's just say people like coming up to somebody who's already smiling, right? And if you have a terrible smile, you're probably not. You're probably, if you smile at all, you have your lips together, right? Or you put your head down, or you put your hand up. That's not the same thing when you're trying to meet somebody new as just walking up with this gorgeous smile and smiling really big and saying, hey, nice to meet you. So, okay. Now, and along with that, here's one. If you have crooked teeth, get them straightened. There are several reasons to have straight teeth. It's not all cosmetic. They're easier to keep clean for you. food doesn't get caught in between them as easily because when they get crooked, there are all these little nooks and crannies for food to get lodged in, right? And also, it's easier for us to take care of them for you, not only us cleaning them for you, but when we take our dental x-rays, if your teeth are crooked, we can't really see between them like we need to. So we're going to miss small early cavities. And remember how I said it's best to do cavities when you first find them, when they're small? Well, if we can't find them when they're small because we couldn't see on the x-ray because it's overlapped, well, now we're lucky to find it when it's medium before you need the root canal. So straight teeth are done so that you can have healthy teeth. Think about it. If it were strictly cosmetic, insurance companies wouldn't pay for it, right? Because dental insurance doesn't cover things that are cosmetic. And yet they cover dentures. Not dentures. Orthodontics. What am I saying? They do cover dentures, but that's not what I meant to say. They cover orthodontics, straightening your teeth, and that is the reason. So if you don't want to have braces on your teeth for 2-3 years, I do what's called 6-month smiles, and most of the cases that we do, we straighten teeth in probably 4 to 4.5 months. Our average is 4 or 4.5. I guess nationwide, 6-month smiles average is 6 months. And I'll tell you what, those things that you can get on TV, I would be weary of that. Especially the aligners. The aligners are even hard to do for a dentist, and they can almost never get the results that people are looking for, and oftentimes have to be finished off with true braces. And so if you're doing the aligners through the mail, you might be asking for trouble, and then you may wind up having to pay somebody else to do it also. So now you pay double. Not double, but you pay extra, right? Okay, if at all possible, you should save a tooth rather than having it extracted. I have this discussion with people every day of my working life. It's just amazing how people are so quick to say, just pull it. And I'm like, why would you pull it? We can save it. It just takes, in most cases, the discussion we're having centers around the fact that to save the tooth would require a root canal, a big filling, and a crown. Most people don't say pull my tooth if all they need is a filling. But once I get to the point where I'm saying a crown, or especially a root canal, they're saying, well, how much to pull it? And I go, well, if I tell you that, you're going to think it's going to be inexpensive or less expensive to have it pulled, but you need to factor in the cost of having it replaced. You can't just pull teeth and leave it like that, because then they get crooked, the top teeth drop down, the bottom teeth raise up, everything, the whole arch falls apart, and it's always, always cheaper to save your tooth. You wouldn't have me extract your big toe if it was infected, right? I don't understand why people seem to think that teeth aren't body parts. They are. They are body parts. They have blood inside. They're living. And they're not like fingernails where you can just clip the top away. So anyway, have your teeth saved rather than extracted, and keep in mind it is always, always cheaper to do so. So, another one, if you do have to have a tooth extracted, be sure to have it replaced with either an implant, a fixed bridge, a removable partial denture, or at the very least, a space maintainer. I mean, if you can't decide, or if you don't have a lot of money, I can put a space maintainer in there. It's a little band that goes around the tooth behind and a little wire loop that rests up against the one in front, and it just holds the teeth apart. It just keeps them there while you think about it. And it's very, very important to not let the arch collapse. And so definitely get something done. Now, if you just don't have a lot of money and you're having your tooth extracted because you feel like you have no choice, well, a space maintainer is only, I think, a couple $100, and maybe you could afford that to at least keep the option open of having that implant, that bridge, or that removable partial down the road. If you happen to grind your teeth while you sleep, or even when you're awake for that matter, be sure to wear a bruxism appliance. Now, it's like a athletic mouth guard. It's custom fitted. It's not for use in athletics, though. It is used for wearing at night. And what it is if you're going to be grinding your teeth together, clenching them, rubbing enamel across enamel, well, you're going to wear off the enamel unless you have something like this in. And I had a woman, she used to live in Columbus. Her husband still does. They're one of those power couples where he's the director of something at a university and she's the director of something else at a different university. So she's I think she's at Vanderbilt down in Nashville, Tennessee, and he's at OSU, but he's soon moving to Case Western Reserve. And she's been having some terrible pain on her lower left, and there's not a single cavity there, but there's all this wear from the enamel rubbing against enamel. And so we made her a bruxism appliance. We had actually made her one years ago, and she lost it. And so when I said, "Oh, you need bruxism appliance," she goes, "I think I used to have one of those." Now she doesn't anymore. So, and I'm going to look at my clock real quick to see if I have time for any more. But, okay, I have just real quickly the most obvious one, the one you hear more often than anything, is avoid sugary sweets, right? Avoid too much sugar. Avoid things that I'll throw back in there, acid, and you will get to keep not only your 2 front teeth, but all of the other 30 in the back as well, especially if you're not saying extract it or just pull it. Okay, and if you want to go back and listen to the podcast of the first half of the show, it was episode 623, and you go to thereasonswesmile.com and click on episodes, okay? Well, thank you so much for listening. It does seem like that is all the time I have. And so, here we go. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter. It's at Dr. Kvitko. And visit my office Facebook page and like us. It's Dr. Kvitko and Associates. Remember that all past episodes, complete with video, are available at thereasonswesmile.com. Be sure to tune in next week and every week right here on your favorite station. Goodbye.
This is Carly Red from Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, the hit show on VH1, urging you to tune in next week with my dentist, Dr. Kvitko.
If you're interested in learning more about this and other dental health topics, go to thereasonswesmile.com to access full episodes of Dr. Kvitko's show.
If you'd like Dr. Kvitko, the world's most interesting dentist, to speak at your next event, please call 614-262-9588. That's 614-262-9588